can turn this into something positive and maybe it'll spread.
He's the most positive person on his job. Now you're cured.
I feel
good. Good morning and welcome to this best edition of Positively Milwaukee. We know not everyone gets to watch our show every week, so we're going to look back at some of the people who have really touched our hearts and made a difference in others' lives. We're going to begin with this Sussex woman who gives her time and money to elevate others. Heather Windsor has enlisted an effort to help neighbors navigate COVID-19. Heather Windsor reports for duty.
I got lots of fruits for the kids.
She's not in the military, but her mission is vital. Her weapon, a giving heart.
The only treat that I got for the kids that has sugar in it is St. Patrick's Day cookies.
Heather is serving her country in a different way.
I just wanted to give back to the community that I love so much. And to show my kids a good example.
She's helping neighbors combat the coronavirus crisis.
It's devastating, and we have to stay in our homes. We have to wash our hands 20 times a day.
Her goal, be there. She drafted herself for errands like shopping, babysitting, even house cleaning.
I want to take a little bit of pressure away from them so that it makes their life a little bit easier so they can care more about the quality time that they're having with their children.
Windsor reached out on social media. Her service is free. She even pays for the groceries. Heather, let me understand this. You are paying for these people's groceries and you're also delivering them?
Yes.
What a gift.
That's just me paying it forward.
We meet Heather outside the Sendix Meadowbrook in Waukesha, and yes, we abide by the 6-foot rule.
Because I've gotten numerous messages from other people saying, what can I do to help? How can I help you out? Knowing that I can't be running around because I work all day.
She sprung into action. She picked out groceries for a man she's never met.
Everything is healthy as best as I could. I'm the fourth oldest of 16. I have 8 brothers and 7 sisters. Grew up in New Berlin, Wisconsin, so I'm very used to being around children.
Heather, a real estate agent with First Weber, has been a broker for 20 years. The divorced mother of 3 knows COVID-19 must be attacked on all fronts.
I hope I'm inspiring others, especially by doing this. I hope I got everything on their list.
We follow Heather on her way to the Waukesha home of Charles Miller. She's about to meet the widowed dad for the first time. He has 6 adopted kids with special needs.
For example, the one guy's going to need a kidney transplant, and the other guy has sickle cell and other chronic illnesses. Another girl is deaf and wears cochlear implants. And ironically, she plays the clarinet.
You see, Miller's late wife dedicated herself to helping children.
Well, I got married in 2011. I met my wife on eHarmony, and she was a social worker. She had over 70 foster kids, and she was highly trained with medical needs and emotional needs and the whole foster care system.
Sadly, his wife died of cancer 2 years ago.
And we were married about a month, and we found out she had cancer. When we got married, she had 4 of her own that she had adopted. And then we adopted 2 more for a total of 6, and right after that she really took ill and passed away. I just had some big shoes to fill, learning really everything she knew about raising these children and their special needs.
Miller, a former Air Force officer, teaches at St. John's Academy. He credits Officer Training School with giving him tools to be a solo dad to his large family.
My officer training has really helped me out. It gave me strength and perseverance and thinking critically, things like that. It's not one I would have chosen, but not when it's the cards you're dealt, you embrace it and you play the best hand you can play.
And for the Miller family, Heather is an angel. You're a godsend.
Truly, truly. I'm just amazed at people's generosity. They don't know me, and they help more than I can imagine, just being very generous with their time and their resources.
Last year I suffered 2 very aggressive shoulder tears, and I was out for almost a year, and I needed help. So I put an ad through Nextdoor, the app there, and a lot of people stepped up. I said one day I'm going to pay it forward, and I'm going to cry soon here, but I'm going to pay it forward to Charles and his family, and I'm really looking forward to hopefully a lifelong relationship, knowing that I've impacted his family, you know, in the months to come, because it will be months.
After delivering and paying for the groceries, Windsor even babysat for Charles Miller.
It's just seeing the smiles on the kids' faces and the parents just feeling so relieved.
One woman helping battle an invisible enemy. When this health war is over, any victory must salute those in the trenches. People like Heather Windsor, elite members of a volunteer citizen force armed solely with compassion.
I love putting smiles on people's faces. I don't do this for the notoriety. I do it because it makes me feel good. It makes me feel good to make other people happy. And it's almost like a domino effect. You know, you make one person happy, they're gonna make another person happy. You know, it's contagious.
It really is. And guess what? Life is great for Heather because she recently got engaged and her career as a real estate agent is thriving. Well, as you saw in that story, Charles Miller is one of the families that Heather helped. And we wanted to hear more of his story as a single dad of 6 and how he manages to keep a healthy attitude. This is about a journey of love, tragedy, and fatherhood.
Cinderella listened with growing excitement.
The love story began when Charles Miller met his wife, Kathy. He was taken with her big heart.
She honestly was the most giving person I've ever met, especially in terms of her time. She could work 18 hours helping other people and not care about herself at all.
When they married, Charles adopted all 4 of her adopted children. Most had special needs.
She had over 70 foster children before she started adopting. And she had a house full of 5, 6 kids, all with special needs, and she thought nothing of it.
After the Millers married, they adopted 2 more.
Just her knowledge, her body of knowledge with the foster care system, and if she met a single mom in need, she would know the exact agency to point her to, and what resources are available, and I was just amazed at how much she knew in the way of helping people.
But tragedy struck. Kathy died of a rare cancer 27 months ago. Chuck Miller was left to raise 6 kids as a single dad.
Cinderella went to the door. An urgent message from His Imperial Majesty, the messenger announced.
As a father of 6 kids and taking care of 4 at home, Chuck, what is your secret to just making it through the day?
I'd like to say I don't know.
As our cameras were rolling, we saw some of the controlled chaos Miller deals with every day.
This is Michelle. Okay, one moment. I'm gonna get you. Come on, come down. I gotta talk to Miss Carole. You're still eating your breakfast sandwich. I somehow rest okay, and that helps. I'd like to say it's my faith in God, and yet I'm so busy, it's hard to remember God sometimes throughout the day. And I just think the sheer force, like being in a river going down current, there's no other choice but to go with the flow.
Can we pray there for a minute? Yes.
Miller admits it hasn't been easy, but he's learned a lot. I asked him to tell me about each child.
Well, the oldest is Nidra. She was Kathy's first. She's 22 now. She works in a bank and doing quite well. She's a very hard worker, and she was like my right arm. The next daughter is Shantae. She's 18, and she is away at Juilliard in New York City. She's a very talented actress. She got her big break with The Color Purple at the Milwaukee Rep Theater. Next is Robert. That's his first name, but he goes by his middle name, Dakey. He's been chronically ill for the last 1.5 years. He has recurring stomach aches and an irritated esophagus and frequent headaches. He also has sickle cell and asthma and life-threatening food allergies. Next is Michelle. She's 12, and she had meningitis when she was 7 months old, and that led to hearing loss. So she has bilateral cochlear implants and is otherwise, she's just a thriving girl. She does well at the basketball team and lots of friends. Carmelo, he just turned 5 in February, and he is a challenge. He's got ADHD, he's got a kidney disorder. He will probably need a kidney transplant in his early 20s. So he's got my same middle name, Jerome. Last but not least is Keviante, we call him Kevy, and he's gonna be 5 on August 3rd. He's doing very well at school, very bright, very scientifically and mathematically minded. Good heart. He's just a good-hearted guy who really cares about people. He's quick to apologize if he did something wrong.
Chuck Miller is a math instructor at St. John's Northwestern Military Academy. The former military officer admits training in the service gave him the discipline and mental strength to deal with the many health emergencies his kids can face.
What would you say has been your biggest lesson through all of this?
I can do it. I didn't realize all this was in me, but you have to do what you have to do. But I think another lesson is when you lose a partner, not only the emotional loss, but the circumstantial loss. When I have 2 or 3 emergencies breaking out at the same time, it's just a lot of added stress. Whereas you had a partner, one can take a child to the doctor while you're dealing with the plumber at home. Instead, I'm driving to the doctor and I'm talking to the plumber on the phone while kids are making noise in the back seat. So I really learned how 2 people can really cut a load in half. It sounds obvious, but without that person there, it's like doing more than the work of 2. It is 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and whenever I feel caught up, it only lasts for a few moments.
Luckily, his school has given him some flexibility.
And I don't teach the first period of the day, and that allows me to get all the kids to school on time. And St. John's has just been wonderfully supportive of that.
Close friends have also been there for him. Miller admits financially it's tough on a teacher's salary. The house needs carpeting and electrical work, but he's determined to be there for his kids.
They're like this high.
Gabby, here's some water. I bet they're thirsty.
Chuck Miller, a single dad, doing his best to honor his late wife, giving their 6 kids the best foundation to plant the seeds of success.
I was the first one in my family to go to college. I want the best for them. I want them to have a good future, you know, hopefully go to college, things like that. The kids are my life, and I wouldn't want it any other way.
And what would his late wife say?
I think deep down she'd be happy.
I think so too. It's amazing how Charles has taken such good care of his kids. Thank you for letting us share your incredible story. More to come of our best of episode of Positively Milwaukee, including a woman who is pushing boundaries in a male-dominated industry. And we're going to meet a man who puts smiles on people's faces just by writing. Welcome back. Christina Rappella is the Dean of Engineering at Marquette University. And when I met her, I quickly learned she's much more than a woman with brains. She has a lot of talents, and they include dancing. On the campus of Marquette University, a peaceful revolution is underway, led by a graceful woman. Christina Rappella is a former ice skater turned ballroom dancer. But this is just one facet of an incredible lady.
Quick, quick, slow, and quick, quick, slow.
Dancing is a hobby for Christina Rappella. Outside the Fred Astaire Dance Studio, she's best known as Dr. Christina Rappella.
And I want you to go to an alpha value of 0.025.
Teaching is one of Dr. Rappella's passions.
The T value is what? Slightly greater.
But Dr. Rappella is more than a college professor. She's also Dean of the College of Engineering at Marquette University. She's one of only dozens of female engineering deans in the country.
As engineers, you're going to be trying to come up with a solution that at least serves, let's say, 95% of the population.
She pushes to increase racial and gender diversity within the college.
As engineers, we talk about how we want to solve the world's problems and we want to serve the world. But if we want to serve the world, then we need to look more like the world we serve.
That's why Dr. Rappella finds mentoring so crucial. Senior Mia Shunk is her mentee.
Anything from life to school, really everything and anything I need to. She's always open and willing to talk. If you need help, she's always there.
What are the other young ladies saying when they see, oh, Dr. Rappella is leading up the School of Engineering?
They think it's amazing. I know all my other friends that are in engineering, they're like, wow, you have a female dean, that's so cool. And someone who wants to personally get to know their students is even better.
Dr. Rappella works to change the equation of women in her field. Females make up only about 20% of engineering deans. The numbers are even more bleak on the engineer workforce. Women make up only 11%.
And we need women to come into this engineering workforce. We need their experiences, their viewpoints, the way they experience the world, the way they think about the world, the way they problem solve is really important in terms of making us more innovative as a profession.
Dean Rappella remembers the pushback she got as a teen.
I know when I was in high school, I remember having a high school guidance counselor who really discouraged me from taking any of the advanced science and math courses. He kept telling me to take home ec and childcare classes and that sort of thing. And fortunately, my father was a scientist and professor. When I told these things to my father, his message was, stay away from those guidance counselors. I don't want you talking to them. I actually had, senior professors say to me when I was pregnant, oh, I guess you're on the mommy track. What does that mean? When my male counterpoints are having babies, nobody says anything negative to them about stuff, right?
Track.
There's no daddy track, right? Why don't I'm not hearing that expression.
In her early years, she downplayed having a family.
So for a long time, I felt like I had to hide a lot of that part of my life and make it look like there was nothing going on. And so that meant the kids went to bed and I was, working from 10 to 2 in the morning, running around like crazy, trying to get kids to daycare and to school and still get to, all my meetings on time, kind of really working a lot of extended hours to show that I could do this despite having a family.
Dr. Rappella, I have a feeling that part of your success, and I hate to say this, is probably based on the fact that you didn't make a big deal about your family on the workforce. Because if you had come in and said, oh, my kid's sick, or I feel awful, and I think you would not have been taken as seriously, and that's the reality.
I agree, and I felt like that too. And so as I said before, I didn't talk about those lessons. I just made it happen. I just managed it, relied on friends, family, just my own long work hours, my own resilience to do it.
Dean Rappella admits she could not have done it without an understanding husband and a strong support system.
I'm very blessed. I've been doing this for 30-some years. I'm very blessed to work with people that I do in a mission-based educational institution with wonderful students. College students are great, and just their, even the idealism they bring to the world is great because they have good hope and they want good things and they're motivated. And we're in a great city, right? I love Milwaukee.
This year, Dr. Rappella celebrated 30 years as Dean of the College of Engineering at Marquette. She's also the first woman to serve as Dean of the college and the first and only woman named as full professor and department chair. What kind of advice can you give young ladies?
That's a really good question. First and foremost, I always say be yourself, be true to yourself. Find allies, find mentors, find networks. A big part of my success, honestly, has been about networking. And I had some good mentors and professors who helped me network with some of the greatest experts in the globe.
Dr. Rappella wants to see a day where women and minorities choose engineering. Rappella's mentee, Mia Shunk, has this advice for engineer hopefuls, advice she learned from her mentor.
Be yourself and don't be afraid to shine. Don't be afraid and just try to find that role model, even if it's not a female. Find that role model that will help push you and keep you striving.
Important words from an extraordinary role model. Smart but down to earth, accomplished but relatable. A woman who knows that movement is good for the soul and understands the formula for all of us to flourish means inviting everyone to the dance.
I think all of us female engineers here would love to do what she's doing. She's just amazing.
I decided a long time ago, when I think about my legacy and when I'm gone, what do I want people to remember me for? I decided that I don't want, my children to be saying, my mom had the cleanest floors and the cleanest toilets. For me, it's the impact I have on other people, right? That somehow I've made life a little bit better. I've given students the opportunity to think differently about what their future might be and where they're going to go, that I've helped somebody to achieve their goal. Those are the kinds of legacies we want to leave behind.
And we are lucky to have her in our area. Dean Rappella is one of only 77 female engineering deans in the U.S. Still ahead, how this man's simple act of writing on a receipt left an indelible mark on people's lives. Welcome back to Positively Milwaukee. Many people discovered that Larry Williams had a special talent when he signed their store receipts, but after I met Larry, I discovered he had a lot more that made him shine. A smile that lights a room. Eyes that calm your soul. You have a look of peace and serenity that a lot of people don't have. And a talent to be shared.
I believe God blessed me with such a wonderful gift.
45-year-old Larry Williams' passion is art. He learned calligraphy on his own.
I had to teach myself out the yellow pages.
You would look at pictures in the yellow pages and then copy them?
Right.
So you just you didn't take a class or anything?
No, I taught my own self.
He turns a simple ballpoint pen into a magic marker, literally.
That's what I just did. I just sat there and practiced until I really get it.
Larry works as a cashier. He's known for signing his receipts. Customers take note and take to Facebook.
I've got a couple of remarks from customers. They be like, hey, Mr. Calligraphy Man. I'm not leaving it until you write on my receipt.
Larry's mom saw his talent early on.
When he was 5 years old, he would be scratching things, you know, on paper.
Larry shares his other passion, wrestling.
Something coming on WWE, I just sit there and paint it.
He loves to paint images of wrestling events. Larry also paints pictures of holiday seasons and Black history.
It makes me happy.
There's something even more special about Larry Williams. Etched in his spirit, kindness and generosity. A loving son who takes care of his 77-year-old mother.
He makes my day.
Larry's mom, Edith Pavlicek, calls Larry one of the greatest gifts she's ever received.
He doesn't drink, he don't smoke.
Edith gets choked up seeing her son get attention.
What does it mean to have Channel 4 here to salute your son?
Oh, it's the greatest thing in the world. I want him to be happy in what he do.
She raised me up the right way and told me what's right and wrong. And so I just paid her back by taking good care of her now.
An amazing son. And if you would like to hire Larry for calligraphy, we have that information on our Positively Milwaukee Facebook page. I'll be back with my quote of the week. Each week, I like to leave you with an inspirational message. Today's comes from inventor Thomas Edison. His words, "I haven't failed. I found 10,000 ways that won't work." Now, that's a unique way to think. Thank you for watching, everybody. Have a great week, and don't forget, stay positively Milwaukee.